So, Sam was talking about when we came back from New York, we were on the plane and made a comment we probably shouldn't have made because of that horrible tragedy, and they weren't too happy.
No.
So, and I think the prelude of this, what you were getting at, is when did you know it was over? And I think that was the beginning of the end, because at that point, Sam had met his ex-wife, and they were quite serious, and things were turning in that nature. And I think I just met my wife shortly after that, or during. It was during. When we left, I was with Karen already. Mm-hmm. So I think that was kind of like the end of the...
And we met them both through the Beyondos.
Yeah, we did.
Get out of my petunias.
Now,
Remember
did you
that
guys
old lady
feel,
next door?
Yeah, I do.
Do you guys feel like music interfered with your relationship at all?
No, because...
No. They were supportive and...
Yeah. I remember when I went, my wife Karen was... And I just met her, I think, a month before. And I think she was very supportive, and she was real happy that we were trying to get this going. And my wife's 5 or 6 years older than me, so I don't think she really understood the gravity of what we were trying to get accomplished. But everything works for a reason, like we always talk about at this table. You think about it. I got into the beverage business. I had my children. Sam got into his career, had his children, and Kid Rock ends up marrying Pam Anderson. Everything works for a reason.
Yeah. 33, 33, and 34. He gets one more.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys still fans of Kid? Because I know, Big T, you have mentioned, as far as kind of forgetting where you come from and whatnot, what have you.
And like I said, when we talked about this last week, my only brush with Kid Rock was years ago when I worked with 7-Up, and was it Sunny D? Not Sunny. There was a brand that was sponsoring the Martina McBride show, and Kid Rock did Picture with her. And I had a chance meeting of him in the bowels of the Palace. That's where that show was. And I was in front of my work people who heard the stories about my past with KAOS. And I said, "Hey, Bobby." And he recognized me and came up to me, and I was kind of disappointed because, and I think I personally blew it because instead of, this is years later, I probably didn't look as handsome as I did. So he's like, "Who the hell is this guy?" He may have been doped up. Who knows? But
who are you?
I'll take the 7-Up. Thank you.
I said I almost said that. I said, "Hey, Big T from KAOS. You remember me?" And but I think he kind of it flashed. I seen it in his eyes. It flashed, but he got whisked away from security where they were doing something behind.
You should have just dropped it on him, man.
I should have.
Yeah.
What about you, Chief?
No, I haven't run into him.
Now, you guys, this is not all about Kid Rock. This is kind of like everything, but all you guys encompassed in that whole era. Do you think he would remember you? Just say you were in Nashville somewhere and you guys are just palling
There would
around.
be some things that I could say to him and be like, "Holy fuck, dude, where you been? Watching you. Where you been?"
Remember that time we took him down? I was my short college career was Macomb County Community College. And so I took typing 3 times and failed it. And I had political science with a professor.
So then he had to go to Mount Clemens High School that summer.
Yeah. So we had a professor called Marv Surowitz. Marv Surowitz was one of the coolest guys I ever met in my life. He was an old hippie from the 60s.
Pot smoking.
Yes. Big time cannabis background person. He was all about cannabis rights. And it was called The Mansion, and it was on not Brush Street, but it was one of the streets right across from Wayne State. Ferry.
Yeah.
Yep, East Ferry. And he was, somebody kind of had him babysit this house, and he had some parties that were just off the hook. So we took Kid Rock down to one of his parties, and there was a reggae group called...
Don't remember.
Modifa.
Let's get it, dude.
Yes, so Modifa's playing this reggae.
Meantime, Kid Rock Bob, he's got a black trench coat on.
Yeah.
And these khaki pants and a fucking baseball hat on backwards. And he gets up there with the band and he's telling the bass player, "I need you to,
Chaos, Sammy T, you were a wild one back in the day.
Well, I didn't say I was participating in it.
Yes, bro.
But it was
Sweet.
weird. This place was weird, man. It had like a massage room.
Yeah, this
It
was
had-
like a living room, like going into the
Yeah.
dining room where this little band was set up. And he got up there and he
He
started.
played piano. He went to
played-
the bass. Did he play drums?
Yeah.
See, I absolutely
just
love
like
this because on the come up, man, I performed at a lot of similar places, Chinese restaurants,
Yeah.
hole in the wall bars, and then even the big places too. Like I didn't perform in front of thousands like you did. It was probably like 1,000 at Emerald, which is pretty
Yeah.
dope. You know,
Hell
for
yeah,
a
hell
independent
yeah.
artist, dude. Like it's just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You got like your own room to get ready and rehearse and shit. Like you guys, I'm just thrilled. It's kind of taking me back. You
And
know?
I don't know if this was the same night, but we were in your Suburban. What'd you call it?
Pie wagon.
The Pine Wagon.
Pie wagon.
Pie Wagon.
Shaggin' wagon. The pie wagon. All the same.
Bro,
We
lots
were,
of-
no, we were pretty drunk, right?
No.
So we get this idea that
Oh no!
Cheech, can I
We're
just say
gonna-
something for 1 second? Did you say you're performing fucking Chinese restaurants, bro?
Where were you at, man? The yeast.
What was your background? Can I have some beatbox with this?
Listen up, yo! It's Poppy in the house. Give me some egg rolls in this motherfucker.
he's hijacking the show. I'm not trying to do that.
Wait, I want to hear how you.
I want everybody to pick up that bottle of plum sauce, and I want you motherfuckers.
With your fortune cooked in the air like you don't care.
Jerry Wu coming right up after this.
Yeah, combination. I'm too fucking baksha cool, motherfucker.
Coming to the stage, some young guy.
Dude, that is fucking classic. You performed fucking rap at a fucking Chinese restaurant.
Hey, how long before we play? 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
That's it, dude. I'm so sorry to that, Billy. I just heard that and I'm like, wait a minute. He said he performed at a fucking Chinese restaurant.
I know where you're going with this thing.
All
Was it
right.
the Suburban
Back to
or
you,
was it
Cheech.
the old Caprice classic, the Acapulco Cruiser?
Ooh, I think it was the Acapulco Cruiser. So I don't know what we were drinking. But we get this crazy
It
idea.
was Brass Monkey.
We're gonna fucking drive to Belle Isle. We're gonna chase a deer down and paint chaos on the side of the deer. I mean, in our minds, we're like, okay. He says, we got to find a deer. I'm thinking, okay, guys are in fucking trees with guns, can't even hit it. We're in no shape to run. We're gonna tackle this fucking thing like it's cattle, like we're cowboys.
Throw it in the back of my car.
And somebody with the paint can's gonna spray. It was so fucked up, man. Yeah. We woke up the next day. He goes, I don't think that was a good idea.
So, wait a minute.
That's wild.
How
man.
stoned were you guys to think you can actually accomplish that?
Pretty stoned.
Yeah. We've seen one.
Did you see one? You weren't
had
going to
the can
catch
ready,
one.
man.
I promise you that, man.
Yeah.
You guys like the wacky tobacco back in the day?
No, we didn't smoke.
I don't think
no.
we smoked anything.
No, we were just drunk.
What was your drink of choice back then, Cheech?
Beer.
I said it was
Strictly olives, no beer, there's no.
We drank cheap beer.
Yeah, we drank cheap beer and we had Brass
Daddy
Monkey.
lights above.
Brass Monkey. We
We
got the Brass Monkey at 16 and Grill Spec.
Yes, we did.
That fucking
Parkway Party.
Parkway Party Store.
Yes.
Still there.
Yeah,
That's the only thing there. That and Subway and Dairy Queen.
Is that really a drink? What is Brass Monkey?
It's
What is
made
that?
by Holovan.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
But
We drank some before we seen the Beastie Boys.
Yes,
I
we
threw
did.
up. Remember when the fucking place caught on fire? The
Yes.
Fox Theater?
Yes.
And they had to.
You remember that balcony?
Yeah, that shit
flowing
was.
low.
Yeah.
It was scary. We thought it was gonna break.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
flexing
fucking-
that much.
Damn.
Remember who played that show?
Murphy's Law? Was it Murphy
Fishbone.
and Fishbone?
Yeah.
And Murphy's Law, the dude that. This place looks like Dracula's castle.
Jimmy Costapo.
He's on Spotify.
Is
I
he?
got all that shit. The
I told
Crucial
you-
Barbecue and all
Yeah,
them songs.
I went and seen
Good
him
shit.
when my grandfather passed away in 90. No, that was 2000. 2000. God, sorry, Gramps, but 6, 7, 8, 9, right in there. We were down in Florida, and at Hollywood, Florida, right by Tampa.
Yeah.
I think it was Hollywood. There you go, man. Murphy's Law. They had the car painted Murphy's
Holy
Law.
shit.
Yeah. So me and my sister and my cousin Mark went and seen Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Now they were like a ska band, right? Like
Yeah. Hardcore
Boston, like
and
shipping
ska.
up to Boston type.
Yeah.
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 Like the Dropkick Murphys, something
Yeah.
like that. All right.
Yeah.
So what was your guys' transition like out of the game? What did you guys do after you guys did hip hop? Like what was next?
I
for you
think
guys?
it was immediate. I mean, he was real serious with his ex-wife at the time, and yeah, we just got into it. And there's some chaos right there.
Kid Rock is doped and on the turntables, rocking and clocking and rocking. Sports in the Jimmy is what we're stocking.
So now Bob, Kid Rock's doing all the he's doing all the turntable. He made the beats.
Yeah.
That's him.
Cause the pussy's big. I turn it in. I turn it out.
Always win.
I never lost a vow.
Go 247 around the clock. Big T, Chi, homeboy, Kid Rock. My boy is down. We hail and prevail out of Motown. Always on the kill.
Love it,
Under
man.
my high bill. Yeah, good shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Love it.
Yeah.
Man. Love it.
Real shit.
And it shows the
And
time.
that
was-
one cuts from a Run DMC song, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That and what was the that was a soul Motown.
King Floyd
Is that what it was?
is who it is. That's who
Okay.
the artist was. Yeah.
We did weird drops like that. We used stuff from Led Zeppelin. Yeah.
That's barefooting.
And we used stuff from Led Zeppelin, that drop. And yeah.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah.
It's again taking me back, and I love the conversation. What now? Like music has changed so much nowadays, right? I could like you guys are cool as hell. So like I know you're still hip to the game. You know what I mean? A little bit.
Yeah.
Now, what do you find yourself listening to now? Is it still? Are you still in touch with hip hop at all? Because
Oh yeah.
I still like I gravitate to the old stuff. I still
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Public Enemy, Run DMC, Houdini. I like the old school
Like
stuff.
the halftime show last year for the Super Bowl.
That was nice.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't get the whole
NWA.
Kendrick Lamar thing.
No.
Because he didn't really fit, but at the same time, Ice Cube kind of screwed himself out of that.
Yeah.
Because he was part of that, and then
right.
but man, the rest of it was cool.
I would have thought the game would have been dope too.
Yeah.
Instead of Kendrick, 'cause
Yeah.
the game was he's always
Yeah,
been
he
in
was
LA.
a part
you know?
of it. Yeah.
So it was just great to see Snoop, Dre, and M. Man, that was like, again, the pinnacle of hip hop for me.
Right, and
so
you
I was
think
like
about
a fanboy again. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so dope.
Yeah.
They're so big and they went so far in their careers and their heads are this big and they can still all come together.
Yeah, man.
And play a halftime show together.
Yes.
He hangs
Yes.
out with Martha Stewart. What the fuck, man? How does Snoop Dogg
Snoop
and
just,
Martha Stewart?
Beat the Miz at WrestleMania,
Really?
right? Uncle Snoop's everywhere, man. He does it all.
You think he ever hit that?
Yeah.
Oh no doubt.
Oh, yeah. Drinking wine and eating cheese in bed right after, too.
Martha, let me show you what Long Beach all about,
Make
baby
me a
girl.
sandwich.
I'm gonna show you what Long Beach all
We
about.
likes to party.
For shizzle dizzle.
So, you guys, if you're thinking of modern day rap, going beyond where we all kind of come from, who are some of your favorite rappers from the 90s on? Like, who would you pick? Like
From the 90s
yeah,
on.
from like, because, you know, like, we know where y'all were at with DMC and Houdini and all these guys.
Yeah, Eric B. and Rakim was big for me, but that was the same time as Run DMC and all that stuff.
Okay.
Just north of. And then for me, NWA. That's a game
Oh, yeah.
changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice Cube. I mean, he was part of that too. But
Yeah.
What about Tupac?
I like Eminem.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Eminem fan.
I'm not, but-
what he's done is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know.
That's a true
really can't
rags
put my-
to riches story that
Yeah.
come
no
from
doubt.
nothing and made himself.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best.
I mean,
No
sure.
question.
the dude's got nothing to prove to anybody.
No.
I mean, he could hang it up right now, and there would never be anybody that would come near him, I don't think.
Yeah.
His flow was just so different, so fast.
I mean,
And it was
TikTok's got Harry Mack.
Harry Mack's dope too.
Harry Mack is
He's
dope.
sweet.
Talk about some freestyling motherfucker, man. Damn.
Harry Mack off
With
the top of the dome.
Yeah, with the gray, the gray hair. killing it on the beach. He's always on a beach rapping.
Right.
That's winning in my book.
Right. That's a lifestyle right there, bro. Shit.
Hell yeah.
We're-
There we go. Thank you.
Day late and a dollar short. It's all good.
wait, Harry Mack's a white dude?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
He's smooth, man.
yeah.
Okay.
Wow. So you dig this guy, Cheech?
Looks like a country guy.
I would have never known.
Harry Mack's smooth, man.
Yeah.
Got a good flow.
So
Yeah.
who else? Who else do you like?
Modern?
Modern. Give us the modern
To
stuff.
be honestly, I mean, I've kind of turned off from rap. I gravitate to the old stuff, but after NWA and the Snoop, I kind of got out of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
forget that. We're on the fives of the week, right?
Yeah.
5 greatest of all time right
Oh,
now.
man.
Let's hear it.
KAOS, Chi-Chi, and Big T.
There it is.
Rap.
I need your 5.
Talk
Yep.
about rappers.
Rap.
Yeah, your top 5.
My top 5. Number 1 for me would be Eric B. and Rakim. I just like the flow. You know, picture a mic. The stage is empty. A beat like this might tempt me to cold show my rings and my fat gold chain. Grab the mic like I'm on a soul train, but I'll wait.
Respect it.
This shit is just, it's flowed, man. That guy, and we saw him.
Yeah.
We saw them in Saginaw with LL Cool J.
LL Cool J. Sure.
And he sat on the edge of the stage by himself, and he just freestyled with
Yep.
nothing. And
No shirt on.
No shirt on, nothing. Yeah,
Beefy, man.
yeah.
The beast.
Fucking beast.
So am I shooting off all 5, or are we gonna go?
No,
No, go ahead. Yeah, you two. I'll give you
I'll
mine.
take
I'll give you
mine.
mine after.
So, group wise, Run DMC. That's a game changer for me. That's kind of like, for me, the godfathers of rap. But it gets, you want to get deeper than that. You think about Treacherous 3, Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah.
But number one, first and foremost, that's what turned me on to rap in middle school was Run DMC.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Run DMC would be my number 2. Always been a big Beastie Boys fan. Now, just for different reasons, because they were so different.
Yeah.
They just had their own style, and they did so many things. And the 3 different voices, you
Yeah.
got MCA with the deep raspy, you got Mike D kind of high pitched, and you got Ad Rock just like a little punk. But
Yeah. Remember
for some way, it just worked.
Yeah.
Remember we met them at the Poncho training with dicks they were?
Yeah.
I think they were stoned out of their minds.
Yeah.
MCA comes up to us and he opens his hand and he's got a pair of American Airlines airplane wings. He goes, "Look at a quarter, a doobie, and airplane wings. What a country."
Yeah.
This guy is
You know,
stoned.
and Mike D wasn't drinking. He goes, "You need to start drinking, man. You need a better attitude." And, I think he was like the smart one in the group. He would kind of keep it together. And
Always loved the Beastie Boys.
oh yeah,
Always liked those guys. License to Ill. Everybody had that.
yeah.
The funny thing
We
about
went to
it-
that concert in
Yeah.
'86 at the Fox
Been to a
Theater
couple.
when they had the big blow up dick.
Yeah.
That came out of the stage. Yeah, they had a big fucking
long.
dick, big fucking dick come out of the stage, man. It was
And the
badass.
dancing girls in the cage.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, and the funny
and
thing
that's when that upper floor
Yeah.
was just
it was slow and
bouncing.
low, and when that bass hit, boom,
Yeah.
Let it flow, let yourself go.
I thought it was gonna break.
That's how it felt when I was at the 50 Cent.
Really?
Or the Eminem and Jay-Z concert when 50 came out.
Yeah.
It was rocking, dude. It
Yeah.
was just amazing.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about Beastie Boys is they started as a joke. They were more punk.
They were more
They
punk.
always they all
There's
played
a song
instruments.
called Cookie Puss.
Yeah.
That was their first real big hit, and it was like, is Cookie Puss there? And it was just a stupid song, but it put them on the map.
Yeah.
But they would play these little college punk parties, and then all of a sudden they kind of made a spoof rap, and they're like, hey, that's pretty good.
Well, see, that's like how hip hop kind of changed because more and more rappers would do that. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Young Jock. Hey, it's going down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's all these catchy songs.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like one hit wonders and they go away. You
Yeah.
know, that's how it changed.
You know,
And then,
Lil Jon, look what he did.
oh, yeah. The South took over for a while.
Oh, yeah.
The South was big for, I would say, a good 5 years. They just dominated
Yeah.
music.
The Dirty dirty.
The club.
Yeah.
Very nice club.
Then it was like East Coast, West Coast. It
Yeah.
bounces around a little bit. Now it's all over the place.
Another group that kind of took it over for a minute was the Two Live Crew from Florida.
yeah.
They had that Florida bass, that
Uncle Luke.
fast.
Yeah, yep.
But I mean, you know, I bust a head, we bust a pussy.
Great song.
I tell you what, but
Number two for me. Number two for me would have to be. It's a toss-up. I'm going to go with NWA. That's my number two.
Yeah.
This is like my Mount Rushmore of rap. And you'll see I'm more skewed towards the old school.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Because mine would be totally different, man. Yeah. That's why I love the
It was
perspective.
a different generation. That's
Yeah,
why.
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Number three. What do you got?
Number three. Drawing a blank.
Well, Chi-Chi's thinking. You guys are on 3 now?
Yeah.
You're on your third one.
New York. Big Papa.
Oh, B.I.G. Notorious
Notorious
B.I.G.
B.I.G.
Yeah. This might be different because me and my buddy Judge James, we did hip-hop artists way back in the day. We did our top 5.
Yeah.
But I got Pac number 1 just because he hit on so many different emotions. Different time,
yeah.
obviously, but
He wouldn't make my list, but different.
you can see it though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's Mount Rushmore, but just not my personal Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore.
Yep.
I would go with LL Cool J
Love LL,
because
though.
he went from the 80s to the 90s to 2000. He's had hits, he's kind of rolled with the changes, kind of.
Yeah.
And then he's in movies. He's got his own TV, NCI and all that.
He's like Cube, a megastar, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Moved on to other things and still making money. But he's kind of like a voice for rap right now. You notice him at like some of the award shows, like 50 years of rap and all
Number
that stuff.
4 for me. Here it is. Bam!
you
Then
took
you
mine.
say, God damn, this is a dope
jam.
jam. Public Enemy.
Nice.
Game changer.
Love it.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
seen
those
them a
guys are
couple
good,
times
yeah.
too. Actually, we were at the concert in straight out of Compton when there was gunshots at the concert. That was at Joe Louis.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were there. It was me, my wife, my sister, and Sam.
Yep.
Wow.
And after that show, we went over to the hotel, and Leor Cohen, who was their tour manager, listened. He came into I had my GMC, and he listened to our tapes. And my wife and my sister were inside, and they were talking to Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. I mean,
No shit.
yeah, they were fucking talking with them and this and that. And De La Soul was in that show. Public Enemy, NWA. So somebody was shooting a blank, and man, those motherfuckers ran out to stage. Everybody else got down, and we were like, "What the fuck?"
Now that's when the standoff with the police happened too. That
Yeah,
night.
Yes.
yeah, because they played
Yep.
"Fuck the Police."
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Wild time.
Yeah, we
And,
were in the middle
before
of it.
that, we went to the hotel.
Yep.
And we met. Dr. Dre was sitting out there. LL Cool J came down. He's in a fucking towel because we knew this Leor Cohen was waiting to meet us, and he said, after the show we'll do this and do that. Okay.
Yeah.
I love Dre though too, man. Dr. Dre's a hip hop
he's
mogul.
smooth.
Just
And he transcended from different generations. He
Yeah.
started old school, went to middle, and then
Yeah. Yep.
kind of is still relevant.
He used to be in the World Class Wrecking Crew,
Relevant.
which is
Yeah.
it was more like a techno
remember
rap
that.
kind.
Yeah.
It was like fast, like LA style, quick.
right.
Yeah. Snoop
So where we
Dogg.
have 5?
Snoop Dogg would be one of mine.
Uncle
Yeah.
My
Snoop's got to
favorite.
be up there, man.
He's got to be. Yeah, I would put him after Public Enemy.
I like that.
And I said that Run DMC was number 1, blah blah blah. But Grandmaster Flash, I got to go Grandmaster Flash.
yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what started it for a lot of people.
Yeah. People used to always think that I looked like MC Search from Third Base. Ready in the intro.
gas face.
Give me the good.
Who'd
Prime
you have for your
Minister
fourth
Pete
and 5?
Knows.
Did you already announce them?
So if I had to go with my 5, it's Pac, Biggie, Eminem, I got 50 Cent in there, and probably Snoop Dogg. And I changed Snoop Dogg because I had DMX in my first episode that I did because I love DMX just because of the passion and the depth he went, you know, and how
That voice, that graveling.
That's my dog. That's what I do.
get at me, dog. I love DMX, but you sold me on fucking Snoop, man. Uncle Snoop. I love Snoop Dogg. Always have. So yeah, those are my guys. I gravitated more towards the West Coast stuff, but I love Biggie too.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's in the conversation, but you know, those other guys, those are who I kind of modeled my game around.
Yeah.
So loved it, man.
And then like I wouldn't say he's newer, but Kanye West before all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
He had some good stuff, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know, and then those damn Kardashians.
They wrecked him, man.
Once you go Hollywood, man, it just shit gets different, I guess.
It does.
You know,
Yeah.
it changed him a lot. So with that being said, great getting to know you guys better.
Yeah,
Going
thank
back
you.
in the past, I love it,
It
man.
was cool.
fun.
We said we had a story to tell last week.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's
Yeah.
awesome to walk down that.
Yeah, we
that
crossed a
memory
lot of
road.
paths, man. It was
Yeah.
like
Well, we'll listen back to this because it all goes so fast because we're moving around doing things. At least I'm trying to hear what you're saying, but then I'm focusing here. But when I listen back to this, I know these stories, even to our listeners, it's going to...
they'll love it.
You mentioned a lot of royalty in the rap business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just in the last few minutes there, and just to be able to be in the presence of some of these
Yeah.
people.
And it was fun to be part of it and the
Yeah.
great memories you always have. And it's good to have him as a memory stick because he just absorbs names, places,
Dude,
time.
he was pulling
Yes.
shit from the
He
archives.
was.
You were
And
shocked.
And you know what? You know
Yeah.
what the great part was? We never got caught up. We never got like starstruck.
We didn't.
We were always just grounded. Like we talked to them like regular dudes. Like, yeah, kind of coffee you drinking? Oh man, this is a half calf and a
Got me sank to that.
You know, hey, you know, can I get a bite?
Next
I get a
episode.
I get a bite of that sandwich, man. It's just
So it's great that you didn't get caught up in all that, but how close do you guys think you got?
Close.
Like how
I think it was-
close do
I
you
really do
think you
think
got
it's
to getting the
close.
contract?
Yeah.
Legit money
if
paid?
we could have kept this Leor Cohen, if we would have had like another day to go down there like before they toured and say, hey bro, come on, let's go for a fucking drive and play the more shit.
And you look
We
that guy
probably
up.
we probably could have got like a demo or something. I truly believe that.
Our stuff was always just so raw. We never really had true
Yeah.
professional mixed studio stuff. It was always just crass. Couple takes. It's great.
Yeah.
But you'll see when you listen to our stuff, and we'll get that copy. There's a lot of some of the drum beats are off a little bit. There's some misses, but
Wouldn't you say there's so much that goes into like the mix and mastering
Oh,
part
yeah.
of it? Like,
Yeah.
nowadays, like it costs so much money. Like you
Yeah.
got to make sure you own the beat, you got to get it mixed
Yeah.
and mastered, and then you got to
Yeah.
play for other rights, and then
Yeah.
money's going here, here, and here. You know what I mean? You got to be on top of all that shit. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, if you ever like watch those music shows, like they'll show like how they started, like what the finished product is, but then like where they began with it. You're like, is that even the same song? Because they added this, and they sped it up a little bit. They
Right,
made a
right.
Heavier bass, or they took the bass out. The snare's not there.
yeah.
Yep.
Do you think at any point someone may have stolen some of your material that you heard on other tracks going, holy shit, man,
I don't.
You don't think anybody caught wind of any of the things you guys may have done?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
But you think you were close, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the question till this day is when Kid Rock did that one song, Cowboy, when he makes reference of chaos, rock like Amadeus.
Yeah.
Was he talking about us?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He could have been.
He
Not too
could have
many
been.
chaoses in the world.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got ticked at us at the end. I think that was the part that changed because he was always a DJ. And his voice at the time was real shrieky, didn't sound too good. And I think we just had like a minor little breakup in that show down at the State when he did his own thing. I think that was kind of the end. Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's when he got ticked at us. And
Well, now he's pissed at Bud Light, so we're gonna get into the news. And thank you guys so much for sharing
Yes.
those stories. That was
Oh,
awesome.
thanks for
no, it was
having us,
great. It was
man. This
great
was
to relive
awesome.
it, man. Thank you.
All right, fellas, we're going to go into the news and the politics. Hopefully, everyone's got a couple things to speak of. do we kick it off, Philly, with our guest here, or do I start it off?
Start it off, Graham.
Okay, all right.
You know I like to do that to you.
I'm a little pickled right now.
Shocking.
Yeah, right. A Michigan man was accused of assaulting a store clerk with a frozen fish. Did you guys hear about this?
I did not.
He smacked some guy upside the head with a frozen fish because he was upset that the shop fish counter closed because of Ramadan. They closed a little early, so the authorities here in Dearborn, this was just yesterday, the guy assaulted and struck the clerk in the head with a 4-pound Hilsa fish. It's not halal, but it's Hilsa fish, bro. So this guy got pissed and grabbed one of this frozen fish and corked the guy upside his head.
Wow.
I'm pissed. My friend, I needed the fish. I need the fish.
Now, do you think that changes the price of the fish after you get hit with it, or?
I don't know, man. It's slightly beat up, free. I don't know, but it's
My question
crazy.
now is it still halal?
I don't know, my friend. I mean, you got to think that's pretty creative. A guy just like, I'm just going to smack this guy with this fish. A Virginia man bought 20 tickets for a single 4-pick number lottery, and he bought the same ticket, 20 of them, with the same number, and he won.
Wow.
So all 20 of his tickets won. The combined total was $100,000. I don't think I had a hunch like that. I had 20 tickets, man, with all the same number on it. It makes this crazy.
Biff Tannen.
Yeah, the numbers are 2.5 and 2.7 for those who give a shit. An Egyptian swimmer put his swimming skills to the test and broke a Guinness World Record when he swam over 7 miles while wearing handcuffs.
Wow.
How do you
Look at that. Look at that.
how do you swim?
It's got a mind of its own.
Accidental?
I did.
It's got a mind of its
It was meant to be.
That was
Oh
perfect.
my God. Jesus, that was awesome.
Did he shave down?
That's my pickle of the day right there. How did that happen? How
In handcuffs.
dude, how do you do it?
So if you cuff, you got to like
Yeah.
yeah,
something like that. It has to be.
Yeah, this dude swam 7.24 miles in open water over the Arabian Gulf and broke a Guinness Book of World Record wearing handcuffs.
I'm mighty proud of you.
Oh, this guy's crazy, bro.
Look at that. Look at that.
There, I did it right. Okay, that was awesome, man. That's a highlight of the night. Besides all the buzzing earlier.
go ahead, KAOS.
All right, I think I'm glad I got to beat everybody because this whole thing, the whole thing with the Bud Light deal. This is come on, man. This is ridiculous.
Hurry up, I got a hot shit in the chamber.
I knew it was coming up.
Drops are getting crazy, man.
So I saw something on Facebook where it says, "Congratulations to this guy because he had more in just 2 days. He made more people stop drinking than AA in 88 years."
Yeah.
There it is. I'm a little on a delay.
Here's my thing though on that. Like, I get it. Trust me. It's a weird just pairing. Like, from a business sense and a marketing standpoint, it doesn't even make sense, right? You got a transgender person, marketing. First of all, it's March Madness, and it's men. Like, it just doesn't make sense at all. You know what I mean? You're not. You got to kind of cater to your audience a little bit better. You got to be more mindful.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm the most middle of the road guy you're gonna meet. I don't care enough to get pickled about it. I really don't. But at the same time, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants the shit pushed down their throat.
No.
You know? But again, I'm not so pressed to where, am I gay because I got a couple Bud Lights in my fridge? Like, no. I'm not. I mean, there's people that are still going to drink it, but there's people that are going to not, and I understand that too. So, to each their own.
Yeah. That was
Crazy.
caught me by surprise too.
Yeah.
What do you got there?
It's like, here, most transgender people are younger. They don't drink beer.
They're drinking White Claws,
They
man.
drink all the gay shit.
Right, White Claw. I mean, that's
Should I drop the mic? I don't want to drop the mic because I don't want shit to buzz. But
Budweiser's slogan went from real men of genius to women with a penis.
The fuck is that?
So crazy, bro. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to hurt him, I think.
yeah.
I don't know. C Rebel posted something today with a 12-pack of Bud Light behind him. I don't know what that's all about.
Gives a whole new meaning to going home and having a tall boy.
It's facts. He's right there. He's an
Hello. How you doing? 15 minutes.
What else you got, KAOS?
That's the only really one off the top of my head.
Okay.
Struggling.
Come up with two.
Anything you'd like to
Coming
discuss?
back.
I seen the other day there was a Dairy Queen in Arizona that had a 15-foot red spoon in front of the store was stolen.
What the hell do you do with a 15-foot
They
spoon?
found it on a soccer field like 4 miles from there. And the guy that found it was just elated. He called everybody. He took pictures with the spoon and sitting on it, licking it, all kinds of crazy shit.
Well, I can relate. How many times did we steal the big boy when I went to high school?
Yeah, quite a bit.
He made quite a few appearances at the parking lot at Chippewa Valley. Big boy just sitting there with a burger.
Remember the dish at Farrell's that you
Yes.
ate? Remember that motherfucker? The zoo.
The zoo.
Big T, now, can you see, when you see the big boy, can you see Hollywood Apple Snatch?
I see a little bit.
You can see a little bit.
What else is in the news there, Chi?
Can't think of much.
I got a few things. So, did you guys see Creed 3 yet?
No.
Nope.
Good movie. If you guys haven't seen the franchise, I took my son and his buddy last night. It's a really good movie. Rocky wasn't in this one. I'm really disappointed in that 'cause I'm a big Rocky fan. I'm a big fight fan, obviously. WWE, UFC, boxing, all that stuff. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Are you guys hip to this whole Andrew Tate situation? I know we've discussed it before. So this guy's a social media mogul. He's very misogynistic, very macho man. Kind of has classes online to teach men how to be more manly. And so he got locked up for, accusations of maybe, kidnapping and human prostitution, whatever. He recently got released this week, so he's out now. He was in Romania, locked up. So he's out. Just want to update the people with that if you're not hip to it.
So how is he out because they couldn't find any evidence? Or?
I guess it's all very sketchy. So
Could
there's
it be
more to
some
come.
pay money or maybe something like that? He's
Maybe.
a big celebrity, big name, a
Yeah.
lot of money could have
Yeah.
come in.
I think so.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how this evolves. And he's on house arrest, him and his brother.
That's
But
not good.
The big social media personality. The other thing, I don't have my phone because we had a bunch of buzzing going on, but I don't know if you guys saw the women's Final Four in the last game. Do you know her name? Yeah, the John Cena.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that was patented by Tony Yayo from G Unit.
Really?
I just found out. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yes, I saw that too.
Yeah. He's like, John Cena, man, come on, just throw me a mill or something, dog. He's like, you're a mogul out here, big wrestler and whatnot. He's like, just throw me a mill, man. But he did it in a video, and that's where John Cena said he got it.
Okay.
It became his whole marketing thing. You can't see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was
And she
kind of
was
cool.
pointing at the ring finger. And
So yeah, they're up. You know what I mean? They're sealing the deal, sealing the game, and she's just bragging about it. She's pointing at a ring finger, like game's over. Now, obviously, we're all sports fans. This happens in sports, and I think this is a testament to where things have gone, where people are so sensitive. People are going to talk shit, man. You got to be able to handle that. Mm-hmm. You got to be thin or tough skinned.
Yeah,
You know,
because
it-
was one, this Caitlin Clark, that
There you go,
she
thank
did
you.
that
Yeah.
in the games, but then when it's done to her,
Well, and there's like Dave Portnoy's under scrutiny because he's like, oh, that's a piece of shit move, or I don't know the exact quote. I don't want to be misquoted, but he said something along those lines, and
Yeah.
it pissed a lot of people off. So it's like, it's just a game. It's a championship game. You're going to get some of that gamesmanship, man. It's just, to me, it's not a big deal. As a football coach, as someone who's played the game, it's not a big deal to
yeah,
me.
walk the walk, talk the talk. But at that point, she was just, they were balling. They
Yeah.
scored 104 points,
Right.
the women's.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that.
I think it was more exciting than the men's. I mean, the men's had a lot of upsets this year in March Madness. Like, I gave up on my bracket after the first 32, man. Like, my bracket was totally busted. I picked Alabama to win. I think they lost in the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 one.
Purdue got bounced in the first game.
I mean, San Diego State in the final. Like, who the hell thought of that? You know what I'm saying? It's wild to me. And the last thing I got is the U.S. currency changing. You know what I mean? Like, eventually, we all know, I think we've seen it, that they're trying to go digital. And more videos I watch. I posted one to the page today about try not to link your accounts with the IRS because they can come in and snatch your money whenever they want if there's any discrepancies. Have you guys ever tried to get a hold of the IRS for anything.
No.
You really can't.
I was audited one year, and I reached out to them, and I got no response. So I think we really got to be mindful of how we use our money, because we are going to eventually be a cashless society. And I think you got China and Brazil. We're going to use the yen and whatever Brazil calls their dollar. That's where we're going now, and the U.S. is in a rough spot on a lot of fronts.
Yep.
We got to be very careful, because they're trying to track everything.
Like even all the stadiums,
Well, right now it's just like U.S. like national parks. They're going to try to go straight digital.
Yep.
Coming up soon.
Little
So-
Caesars, you can't use cash at all.
Comerica,
Yeah.
cashless. Ford Field, cashless. What
Yeah.
happens if the system fails? I
Yeah.
mean, you lose, you get free stuff?
Right.
Because it's cashless, or are they going to have to take cash only? I mean, how would they work that out? I mean, where would that, if that glitch ever were to happen?
Yeah, what if you don't get Wi-Fi? What if you
Right.
don't get service?
What happens
Yeah.
if
They
you
don't accept
can't
cash. You're
Yeah.
screwed.
access your information?
Your phone's dead.
Yeah.
Even high school. I know high school games. My kids went to Richmond High. I heard you can't just walk up and hand them $5 for a ticket. It's got to be purchased in advance online. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
We need cash. I mean, cash is king. You always heard
I would
that.
think. Yeah.
And we're going to get back to the part where people are stuffing their mattresses with their cash.
You read
Yeah.
my mind. I was just going to say that. Like, you might want to start stockpiling
Yeah.
cash.
Well, what's your take on it?
And what
You think the cashless thing is a thing of the future? or-
What about the strippers? That's what I'm worried
Hey,
about.
man, you take
how are they
Bitcoin?
going to do that?
They have a credit card exchanger on their freaking, on their-
Strippers like
on their-
that, man.
Right.
Go ahead, swipe it
Take
right
my
there.
Visa, man.
You know what I'm
Excuse
saying?
me, ma'am. Could you move your balls first before I? Oh my God, I'm sorry. Oh, I can't say that. Here, want to finish my Bud Light? Thanks.
So what's this big thing with Trump? Like now we're going to talk about it for a minute or two because it was big news this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trump,
We talked about it last week.
Talk about it there. Chaos, what do you got?
It's the same thing we talked about last week. They're trying to get anything on this fella, and you find out. So there's 34 counts of felonies. And this felony is all about the Stormy Daniels supposed payment through this other fella. So there's supposed to be 4 checks. Each of those 4 checks granted 4 separate felonies. It's not even a felony. It's a misdemeanor. And plus the limitations have already sunsetted 2 years. But no. He didn't live in New York at the time. He was president, and then he lived in Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago.
So
Great place.
But no, so
Great
we got to
place.
reset. No, it's all garbage, man. It's trying to get him off the ticket, and I think they better watch what they're doing because they're reigniting his following and his people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really getting charged up. And poor DeSantis, we talked about him. I'm kind of digging him.
He's down 30 points.
Yeah,
to Trump.
He's taking it in the pipe right now.
Right.
Everybody's rallying behind Trump.
And they got this
Crazy.
thing put off until December,
Yeah.
which is another, really?
Yeah.
Could it be dismissed before then?
No.
Or-
It's BS. They made it up.
BS. Give it up.
So, again, more to come on that, right? We have to see how it all
Yeah.
shakes out.
December? That's what they said?
Yeah.
That's supposedly when shit's supposed to happen. So I don't know.
He's the
man.
first American president to be indicted, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the DA, Bragg, that's what he ran on. This ultra progressive DA, prosecuting attorney, ran on a platform where if you vote me in, I will prosecute Trump. So they got him in. He lived up to his campaign promise.
Right.
Oh,
But like you
Well,
said,
if you think about it, if they push it off till December and then January comes,
Yeah.
that's 2024.
Right.
That's when campaigning starts.
Right.
So what
Yeah.
they're just trying to buy time.
right.
They don't want this guy to
It's
get any
a
momentum.
chess
But
match.
yeah, no doubt.
Kind of do whatever we have to do.
So, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and we'll be back with the 5s of the week.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, y'all, it is now time for the 5s of the week, as always, presented by 24th Street Pizza, episode 81. So, Chi-Chi, since you're the new guest in the house, we are doing difference makers today. KAOS, Big T, good job on the pick. So,
Thank you.
Go ahead, start off, and we'll work our way back.
difference makers.
Sir, yes, sir.
Well, this is they're in no particular order. But El Chapo.
Chapo, huh?
Chapo.
I'm sorry about that.
Just picture this guy's life every fucking day. What's going?
I was not expecting that.
I mean, you can go Einstein, this and that. Chapo. This guy's killing people. He's counting cash like nobody's business. He's crawling through sewers. He loves movies, so he goes to the theater all the fucking time. And nobody knows really what he looks like.
Who are you?
With that being said, did you see the documentary?
Yeah.
Badass though, right?
Fucking nuts.
El Chapo.
Probably not on my radar in the difference maker category, dog.
I'm looking at it like, you talk about somebody that sees the world at a different angle than the average person.
Oh, yeah.
He's not that big of a person, but everybody's scared the fuck of this guy. He's got bitches, and if he doesn't like them, he kills them.
These nuts.
Chapo, yeah.
Chapo.
For the chop.
Fucking El Chapo.
There
man.
we go, man. That's a way to kick off the fives of the week.
This is what's great about it, because it's all about perspective, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm really tamed on my list.
I did send show prep, by the way.
Okay. All right. That's
all good. Chaos.
Sammy T, that's
Well,
it.
I feel bad saying this because there's no comparison to El Chapo, but
What's good about it?
number one on my list is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Jeez, we're not trying to laugh, but you want to talk about extremes. You got this freaking demon of a man. I don't know. He's a hell of a... You think about climbing through those tunnels.
You talk about
Chaos.
the ultimate difference maker in anybody's lifetime in the world, Jesus Christ. I'm a believer. I'm not a practicer, but number one, far and away.
I love it, man. Actually, I love both of them, I must say. And,
I do too.
With that being said, Chapo was a family man. I say that with a straight face. He loved his family, but yeah, he's fucked up. He's in the cartel, right? But
I mean, he ran a lot of things.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, we've talked about last week on Men's Health. We talked about spirituality, right, and how important that was. So that's it's definitely very, very important.
So
I respect that.
I'm going to share that one with him because it's on my list. I agree with you in every way that you just said.
Yep.
Very important. I can't wait to hear Chi-Chi's second. I just can't wait. If they go anywhere in that direction, this could be very interesting.
So yeah, I'm on the lighter side. This is going to be very, very family based for me. Because I thought about like in the world and people, you know what I'm saying, like athletes and business owners, but do they really make a difference in my life per se? So number 5 for me, it's my uncles for one, and my close friends, a real tight knit unit. You know what I'm saying? So Grandmaster B in Hollywood, I'm fortunate because they're like best friends at times, but they're also like older brother, father figure types at times. So
Thank you for that.
I really appreciate that, and I don't have a great relationship with my biological father. So to have those people in my life, it just means a lot to me,
Yeah.
And that's just where I'm
serious is going, Chi. My number 2 is Kim Jong-un. That's a terrible man. That guy Kim Jong-un crazy. He's crazy. Skip, he ain't a very good man. I'll tell you right now. This guy over here, this guest you got to know is crazy, Skip.
That dude's a knucklehead, man.
No.
Come on, was it Hitler? What do you got on that list, Bryce?
God, that's a good one.
Come on, G.
Well, the next one is personal to me. I had an older brother. He was 12 and a half years older than me, and he died at 36 of leukemia.
Wow.
So I was 23, he was 36. Yeah, he's about 12 and a half years older. But at the time, so he was diagnosed in June of 89. He passed away in May of 1990 on Mother's Day. Worst
tough.
of all. But it was the time, at that time, bone marrow transplants weren't a thing. It had to get approved by the insurance company 2 or 3 times, get a signature here, signature there. So in the meantime, me and my 2 sisters went and we got tested, and my sister Joanne was a perfect match for him. We're like, oh, okay, cool, man, we get him out of this shit. But insurance hemming and hawing and this and that. He got a relapse, and it went into his spine and eventually went up to the brain.
Oh, man.
And he died, right?
I remember him. That was so sad.
I had a chip on my shoulder for the longest time, man. And it took a long time. And I listened to yours the other day about, you question stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, why did he take my brother? He wasn't married. He didn't have kids. He kind of did his own thing. He was a good guy. Taught me about music. Took me in my first Tigers game. He was a big sports guy. My dad didn't really like sports. It just wasn't his thing. And not a day goes by that I don't think of him, but I'll be thinking of him, and then boom, like one of his songs will come on, like one of his favorite songs, and it's like
it's a divine intervention.
Yeah,
of
like
some kind.
I look next to me, and they're like, "Motherfucker, you're right here, aren't you?"
Right.
It's just so. It happens so often that it's to the point where it's real.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's Jesus. That's a piece of Jesus coming into your life.
Yep.
And
you get those signs, man.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
like you talk about a good friend. That's why I got 1111 tatted on me, because I always see it like on the clock. And it reminds me of my best friend. I just feel like it's a sign from God and the universe telling me that my best friend's still with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's weird like that. You get those signs.
Yeah.
I got
no
one.
matter what people say, it means that to you, so that is special to you and to this other person, and that's awesome, man.
For sure.
To me, that's like winning. That's like, as you get older, like you see more things like that. Like when you're young, you're just too busy doing this, doing that, your head's spinning.
Yeah.
But as you get grounded and you get older.
Yeah. Chi,
100%.
I think the older you get, and it's not necessarily an age thing, I just think these things are real. They kind of happen for a reason. They can't just coincidentally happen all the time in a moment where your mind needs clarity. I'm going to give you two that I've had to piggyback off of you and what you're talking about with your brother. Great relationship, man. And that's important to you still to this day. It's in your heart, bro. Like my wife's dad passed away, and he worked for the 7-Up bottling company. And every time she's having a bad day, she'll see, it's just in the place of moment of when she needs it the most, she'll see a 7-Up truck. And she'll
I knew
say,
him.
Yeah.
You knew Louis?
Yeah.
You knew Louis? God damn it, take this kid out of here. Because you know Stevie Miller.
Yeah, I know Steve.
AKA Scuba Steve. God damn it. Who is this goddamn Dago over here?
Oh yeah.
He trained me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same
He trained
I
all of us.
I was with
Wow.
merchandiser. He would
trained
call
us
me at
all.
home. You goddamn Dago, get out of bed. Like, oh, I'll come.
What are you at the buffet too much? What the hell's going on with your stomach? Lose a little bit of weight. So shout out to Scuba Steve, a big listener,
Yes.
a big fan of yours too,
What up?
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, we miss Lou. Man.
so-
God, he was so cool.
God rest
And
his
so
soul.
for my wife, that's always a big deal, right? And the thing that happens for me is when I go to my mom's house and she go, oh my God, she go, Brian, that Cardinal's here. And the day my dad passed away, they just took him away. And I was just crying, tears, and sitting in this room with my sister, and we were just reminiscing. And I was sitting there with my nephew, Jeff, and we were sitting there, and this is literally minutes after, they took him. And we were just sitting in the room quiet, and a cardinal came up to the window. And there's something about a cardinal, right?
Yeah.
It means someone's coming back. And that cardinal stayed there and looked in the window. And I took a picture of it. I told my nephew, I said, Jeff, don't move. He's like, what? What's up? I said, just don't move. And I took this picture, and I got proof of it, because it would have been hard because my sister's head was down, his was down, and that cardinal came. And then when I go to my mom's house, this cardinal reappears. She goes, calls me by my name, and she'll say, look, there's a cardinal, and he's there. So it's just like it happens, right? Those little things do happen in our life. And so, I mean, that's powerful stuff what you said about your bro, man.
Yeah,
No doubt.
I respect that for sure.
So I believe in that, that little connection that we all could have at some point in time, So,
No doubt.
He shows you.
Yeah.
This is, physical, like seeing it is just like, and like you said, it's too much to be just a coincidence.
No,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
That's why I told the story. You mind if I tell that
No,
story?
please
I told
do,
briefly
man.
last week was about, when I talked about my son.
Yeah.
I almost lost him in the hospital last year. And we didn't know what was going on, getting no answers. So I went into a prayer box, broke down, had this whole, coming to Jesus type moment. And I prayed, like, bawling my eyes out, just had a complete breakdown. Came home 3 days later after not even knowing what the hell is going to happen. So those are signs that, he's there, he's present, he's looking out for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I believe in it. Man.
And he'll reach out in many different ways.
Yeah.
Like he did to you, because I listened to that, and like you went down to the chapel at the hospital and you were praying there and this and that, and you even called out the doctor the one time, like, why, what are we doing, this and that, and he's like, here's the steps, have faith.
Right.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Every one of us shares some sort of a story. We'll probably maybe even touch on here at some point, because I know one of my picks is someone that's close to me, or always been close to me. So that's pretty good stuff. I don't even know where we left off. Who was up?
Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos.
I'm sorry. I keep calling him Chaos because that's what we call
that's
him.
fine.
So no
We call you the
disrespect.
Chi-Chi. You the
not at all.
Chi-Chi.
He's represent.
The original Chi-Chi's tortilla chips. Big Sam and Chi-Chi.
So along with Jesus, I put my dad. So my dad passed on 7-8 years ago, and he was a good friend of mine, and he was always a really good shoulder to lean on, always very supportive. And at his funeral, in the wake, when people come, and you'd be shocked at how many people come up to me just to let me know what a difference my father made in their life. Mentored them, helped them out in their time of need. My dad was there for them. I didn't know that.
It's interesting.
So, yeah, that really. I reflected after that and said, I got a lot of catching up to do. If I want to fill my dad's shoes, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah. So
That guy, man, he could listen to a car and know exactly what was going wrong. Here's another thing that used to make us laugh. See those trees? You see the backs of the leaves? You know what that means? Sam goes, yeah, it's windy. Nope, there's a storm coming.
Yeah,
he goes,
absolutely.
And it's windy. Every time.
But yeah, at his funeral, and not one, not two, not three, 10, 15 people. Your dad made a difference in my life. When I was down and out and in need, your dad scooped me up and lifted me up and was supportive and called me. And it shocked me. It really didn't shock me, but I think it just kind of hit me by surprise that I didn't see that part.
The humbleness. He was a humble guy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And you're a spitting image of him.
I am.
I mean, it's scary when I look at pictures and, I got a couple stories about your pops as well. I mean, just the way, hey, Brian, how you doing? And he had that outgoing personality and,
always smiling.
Always smiling. Always smiling. And the guy was just such a, just a lovable kind of guy. And, and it's just, you can see that in you, dude. So, I mean, you may think you have a lot of things to catch up on. But
I got a lot of work to do.
But that's so cool because, it's sad that you have to know all this stuff after the fact, and then you hear all these stories and you're like, wow, I didn't know that, Yeah. So that's where you sometimes get a little bit of guilt going. You're like, man, I wish I would have asked more questions, but then you really wouldn't have. That's how life goes, right?
You have
Sam?
to look at it like this, too. His dad didn't feel that he needed to tell people that because that's just he probably did it so unconsciously that it just...
That was the fabric of who he was, right?
But like
also
you said,
probably,
it wasn't one or two. It was like 15, 20 people come up to you. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
When he left
This guy's
he left
touched
that in you,
everybody.
Big T, because even Hollywood says, he's like, Sammy's just a great dude, man. He's like, I just
That
get
was cool to
good
hear from
vibes
him.
and good energy from him, man. He's like, I love that guy. So it's probably, testament to your pops, what he instilled in you.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
miss his sauce, too. God, he makes some good red gravy.
Yeah.
You never know.
I got you.
You know how to make the sauce. Sammy, you know how to make the sauce.
I know how to make the sauce.
Chi-Chi, you make the sauce.
The sauce.
I come
It's
home.
my mom's recipe. Oh, it's so
I can't touch my Nona's meatballs, though, man. I can't even get close.
Yeah.
She's got meatballs.
Oh, man. Not those kind of meatballs. But she made these meatballs with
Does she drink Bud Light?
No. Come on.
Come on, man.
Cavafier. She made these freaking meatballs. She put eggs in wine and 3 different types of meat and folded and not Progresso bread crumbs, real bread that
The real ones, from
And-
scratch.
oh.
I don't buy that, that seasoned shit at the store. I make them right here.
I miss those meatballs.
God damn. But you know, guys, this is the legacy that we all hope we leave behind.
Yeah.
There's going to be a day where we all won't be here. And what will people be saying about you or me or anybody else in
guys
this
are a
around
bunch
this
of
table?
jackasses.
Well, I mean, but you know what? The good thing about this is we can leave this shit out there forever because it's on YouTube, right? And we got Spotify, we got Apple
Exactly.
Podcasts.
Follow
and so,
us, Apple and Spotify,
You know,
YouTube.
50 years from now, when someone's thumbing through like they would like old records and stuff like 5s of the week. I wonder what this is, man. But no, that's what you want to do. You
Who's
wanna-
El Chapo?
Who is that guy? That guy was known to be a very bad man. I liked him. That's a very good pick.
Thanks.
Very
I'm going
good.
to share
very
it
good.
with you, man. Who's up next here?
You be.
So I'm going to go with my dad too. I had him as my pick. A lot of the same reasons, man. You know, some people have that father relationship, some don't. I understand that. My dad was my idol. He was somebody I looked up to. He's somebody that I learned a lot from. Some rough patches we've had, you know, when you're growing up as a teenager and you don't want to listen to what Pops is saying and you're going to go against the grain. I've done that many times
all
in my
done
days.
that.
And but lessons were learned, inspiration. My dad was a fantastic judge of character. That's the one trait he had that it was almost like it was a God-given gift to him because he could read somebody within a few minutes of talking to him. And as you got to know the person, he could tell you exactly the way a person's going to be. And not once, and I mean this sincerely, not one time was he ever wrong. Never. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing. It kind of scared me like, holy crap, man, this guy can read a future. But he had this knack about him because he was a street guy. You know, he grew up in Hamtramck, Michigan. He dropped out of high school. He had to hustle. He had to do everything in a pool hall from, you know, shooting pool, trying to win money. And then he got drafted to go to Vietnam and, you know, as an 18-year-old kid off the street, you know, so he learned fast, just like many people did in that era. You know, not just because maybe you went to war, but if you didn't come from, you know, riches and you had all the prosperity that some people had back in those days, you kind of learned from the street. You know, college wasn't the big thing. That's what the rich kids did, right?
A lot of them dropped out of high school so they could get jobs to help pay bills at the house.
I think that was part of that generation. My dad dropped out of school in middle school, and he went back and graduated from Chippewa Valley Night School in 1995, a year prior to me graduating.
Oh, wow, man.
So that
How
was
awesome
cool.
is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have his class ring.
That's so
awesome.
cool. And my dad always said something. He says, you know, son, he said, I'll take someone who's street smart over book smart any day.
every day.
He
Absolutely.
said, because someone that knows what the real world's going, because book is one thing, right? We all know the concept there. But when you get on the street, and just like as we grew up as young men, we had to figure it out, whether it's, you know, marriages or jobs, relationships, raising children. Like we all came from like nothing. We were starting with like a blank canvas and we had to figure it all out. Yeah, we got guidance along the way, but man, it was tough. It was life. Right. And then you get to this point now, you know, your son's growing up. Our kids are growing up now.
Yeah.
It's just so much different. But my dad said, your day will come and it'll all make sense to you. And it did. And it still is. And so, yeah, I chose my dad because he was to me, I know not just to me, but to my nephew here and other people that know my
to
dad,
me.
especially KAOS. He taught him how to gut his first deer.
He did.
He
It was so awesome. So we went up to Michigami and we hunted. He invited us to his group, his hunt camp forever. So it was Pitts, Teddy.
That's where it came from, by the way. Yeah.
Glenn. And what was the other?
Teddy Sudermeyer, Vince Sudermeyer.
Vince, yeah.
Yeah.
And
These guys you went to high school with in school.
Talk to make sure you're in the mic a
Yeah.
little
So
bit.
this is so fun. And generation apart, if not a generation and a half. And it was just so fun to be with that. And the story is, so we're up in Michigami in the middle of national forest, we're deep in logging 2 tracks where there's nothing.
Yeah, there's so much trees up there they have to pipe sunlight.
Yeah.
In. It's just that
No
freed
road,
out, man.
no planes, no road noise, no nothing.
No man's
And
land.
we're sitting there, and Mr. ADD got real persnickety here first day and says, I'm not going to hunt there. I'm going to hunt your spot. So that afternoon, I bag an 8-point out of his stand.
Yeah, and my dad told me to stay in this stand. He said, my dad was like a great, great hunter. And he said, just stay here. There's big deer here, and there's going to be a big deer here. Well, after one day of just getting too bored, I'm like, I want to sit in a different spot. And then he ended up getting the big buck.
And we have that on video where we're tracking this blood trail, and we come across this deer. And I was nervous. I'm shaking. And your dad walked me through every step. He says, no, I ain't going to do it. Here's the knife. Get down there, I'm going to show you what to do.
He never gutted a deer, and that's kind of a nasty thing to do if you've never done it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of, gross. I know some listeners will be like, man, I don't want to talk about gutting a deer. But it was weird because he never did it, and he had to learn. And my pop showed him, gave him a little guidance, and then made him finish the task. And now he's you can do it all by yourself now.
Absolutely.
So
what great memories. It was such a fun camp.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that was mine. So on to the next one.
He was a good man, and that's actually my fourth is my grandparents. I got a special shout out to three of them in particular, and Pops is the first one because, he kind of stepped in for me as a young man and kind of helped me along through all my hard times. He was the one guy I could always go to when I went to jail, when I screwed up in school, when I was having my kid going through a breakup. He was the guy I would go to. And even when he was ailing later in life, I could go sit there and just talk to him, even though he wasn't as receptive as the years went on. I always left there feeling like a better person because he'd always give me that reassurance, you know what I mean, that nobody else really could. So I'm forever grateful for that, for him stepping up. And I went hunting with them, and I was like, Papa, it's not really my thing. It's all right, let's go watch football. You know what I mean? Like, he always make me just feel comfortable.
How he would do it, too.
I'm just forever grateful for that. And so I got his dog tag on my arm. He means the world to me. Get a little emotional talking about it. He means everything to me. And even my grandma, too. She's got a heart of gold. She'll do anything for me, even to this day. And a shout out to my grandma Randy, too, who is actually Gary's mom. Okay. And we're not blood, but she treats me like one of her own. And that's
she does.
My stepdad's my mom's ex-husband's mother. And she's always been good to my son, even Andrew. You know what I mean? She does everything for everybody. And I just had to shout her out because she's a special person. A lot of memories. We'd go there, me and Josh, and she'd let us go to the pool and eat all night. And I had my first drink at her house, snuck some apple pucker back in the day when I was like 14.
Yes.
So, a lot of good memories, man. I'm so blessed for whatever I lacked in life. All these people around kind of pick me up. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
It's good stuff, dude.
And that happens for a reason, too.
Yeah, for sure.
There's always, hopefully everybody has that rock to lean on and that person that guides you.
You need them, man.
Yeah.
You need them, especially in times of need.
Yeah, even at our ages, don't you guys still feel like you need some mentorship at some point, even from the older wise man or something like that? I love talking to older people.
Yeah.
There's so much history talking to an older person if you ever meet someone that wants a story tell that's older and older than you in so many ways, that they lived so many more years, it would do you justice to listen. Mm-hmm. It really would, because you're going to walk away with something and go, wow, man, that guy was a Korean War hero, or, this guy had this great life and maybe had nobody to talk to continue to tell his story, and you just might be that person.
Yeah, and that's why I pride myself on being a good listener, and I got that from Pops, too, because he would always listen. You know what I mean? So even to this day, we talk about being single and dating. Yeah. That's one of my biggest strengths. I always tell a woman is I'll listen. And I always know I got that from him.
Hey, that's a big one, man.
You know what I mean? And people appreciate that because we all need to vent, right? At times we all need to vent, but at times it's just as important to listen to somebody too, because that can make all the difference.
It's very true.
Yeah. There's a difference between listening and hearing somebody. So you're listening to these women now, but here, and they keep talking and you hear them. That's when they got to go.
Right. Well, you got to know. You got to know what the photo about.
All right, I'm gonna shift gears again, but it's not.
Kwame Kilpatrick.
What you got on that list,
I do have a quick Kwame story. So we take the kids down to the Thanksgiving Day parade. He's the grand marshal, right? He's sitting outside of this Corvette, and they're in the parade. Just out of the blue, I said, Kwame, my man. All right now. Everybody looked at me and they go, "Oh my God, how do you know him?" I go, "You didn't know that was Kwame? The guy's like 6'10".
I don't know what he's talking about.
It was all right now. So funny.
My boy Al would appreciate that.
So I'm gonna shift this to music. Now, growing up, my dad liked Pink Floyd. He liked jazz. He liked the Rolling Stones. My brother was 12 and a half years older, so he graduated in 72. I was born in 66. So his thing, he liked Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and all these other bands, Jeff Beck, all good music. So I'm listening to this. Now I get to the point in my life where I'm like, okay, I like all their stuff, but I need my own thing here. Africa Bambaataa, Planet Rock. The first time I heard that song, I was like, what the hell? This is crazy.
I still love that.
And being a kid, I used to stutter.
Block the video.
I used to stutter bad. And I would get all flustered if, like, I'm trying to read in class and this and that. And I'm like, man, they're going to make fun of me and this and that. Those were the first songs where you could sing the lyrics and not stutter. It's like, man, rap, you know?
Yeah.
Rapper's Delight comes out. I said a hip hop to the hip, you know. But those beats and then the breakdancing came in, and the whole thing just made sense to me. Now they would come in my room. What the hell is this? And what are you listening? It's like, man, I can't even explain it to you guys. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was influential, and then everything else just came right after that. You know, party people, party people. Yeah, it was good. It was something at the time where it's like, you know, okay, this is where this is gonna pick me up. I still like all that other stuff, but I got my own shit now. You know, and it was just, you know, one of the moments where it's like, so then all your friends kind of get into it, and you're kind of building blocks with this and that, and then you got the Burnout Kids, but even they kind of liked it because it was so different. It was so different.
Yeah, that's dope. Music speaks to you, man.
It does.
I love
it. Really
it.
Does.
I love that one. Very good.
All right, so mine, number 3, I checked out some stuff this morning online. So think back to when our country was getting started. Thomas Jefferson. I didn't know he's the author of the Declaration of Independence. Mm-hmm. So there's somebody that's a game changer. There's somebody that made a difference.
Yeah.
He nutted up and was the author of the Declaration of Independence, got everybody to rally around it. The rest is history. Here we are. I don't think he'd be too happy these days with what's going on. But shout out to Thomas Jefferson.
Shout out to
Tell me about the Jeffersons. We talking about the Jefferson. You talking about practice. Sorry about that, Bryce.
Bitch, don't fry in the kitchen.
What did I say last week? Man, you asshole.
This guy, man, it's good timing for this Jefferson drop, bro. Damn, you stole my number 3. I'm just kidding.
Who'd you have? Pol Pot?
No, I'm keeping the theme with Cheech over there. I got Putin. Great guy.
This guy Donald.
You should see him putt.
Is it on me?
It's on you.
He can really putt.
Speaking of putts, man, and this is kind of fun. Did you guys see about Putin? Did you guys see this kid with the 21-inch fucking shoe?
No.
You know, this kid's out of Goodrich, Michigan.
I did see this. He's got 23 or 24.
23, 24-inch shoe.
The guy is huge.
He had to have special shoes.
6'10".
Special shoes made for him, and Shaq
made him, bought him some homemade shoes.
Yeah, Rob Galley, the guy that's on Channel 7, he's a size 14, and they were standing next to each other, looked like an infant foot next to this guy. I was telling KAOS, I said, this kid must have a dick the size of a putter.
You know what they say about people with big shoes?
What do they say?
They got big socks.
Oh, yeah, sure. Anywho, on a serious note, we're going off to my number 3. I put Martin Luther King.
You stole him. I told you that one earlier.
All right, so I'll pick Rosa Parks.
Okay, that's
All right, okay.
You
so
got the
go-
answer sheet right there.
Okay. I had my notes.
Yeah, he's copying.
All right.
we talked earlier.
Okay, so can we share it?
We can.
All right.
Aw.
You want to talk about it?
Stop whining.
Should we leave?
No.
This is getting weird.
He was,
But I can't stop watching.
the intensity.
Can we get some Bud Lights over here?
Stop it. Yeah, I mean, revolutionary, man. I mean, he stood on what he believed. He helped people, and that era when our country was in a different spot. I didn't think the equality and the rights and stuff like that. We all know the history of the man and the tragedy and all that, but he set a footprint. It's not a white or black thing; it's an everything thing. So there's a lot of things that he instilled in the minds of people, and what he was trying to push for legislation and laws that came to life that made a huge difference to giving people fair.
Dream.
And just the way I kind of piggyback with Rosa Parks the same way. She stood up for something. And again, it's not a race thing. It's just you believe in something, no matter what creed, you just do it and do the right thing. You have to do that. So I think these were people that changed for the good in our society.
No, I
Cool
love
thing
that.
about MLK is when he talked about peaceful resolution versus like a Malcolm X type thought pattern behind quality. And I think his words resonate to this day of more of a peaceful way. And it's happened quite exponentially in the past 50 years. Our country was in a bad place. Racism was real and rampant. And you look back and you see the colored drinking fountains, and you couldn't even go to Kresge's or Woolworths and get a milkshake because you weren't welcome.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to how far we've come.
And you can't imagine a world like that now.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's just like it doesn't even register for what's normal. And yet people of color had to go through that.
Yeah.
And that's where wrongs are wrong, and so shame on, the people that were allowing that to happen. And so it had to take the revolution of people like a Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and others to go out there and make a big difference.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think if you stand on something, you're standing on it for a reason, and it doesn't have to have, a race involved. It's just what's right.
Yeah.
And they made a difference. They just did.
Oh, I love that. I think that's, everybody has different stories, and we've been exposed to different things, and we've seen racism on all kinds of levels, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Whether it be friends or even me, like, I'm probably the whitest Mexican guy you'll ever meet, right? But, I've had people say racist shit to me, and I'll never know what it's like to be, African-American. Never.
No.
I'm not even trying to compare that. But I've had people tell me go back to your own country just for accidentally, like, bumping into somebody.
Yeah.
I had a guy at Rite Aid do that.
Do you ever talk back to them with like, my friend, why you treat me like this?
Let me tell you something, pendejo.
Let me tell you something, pendejo.
But no, it's like,
yes.
who are you to say that to me? Like,
Bullshit.
I'm an American. I pay taxes.
El Chapo, I need you.
Right. I know one of
He
you.
said he's in the sewer.
You were targeted at airports, or one of you guys was. When
I
you came
was
to-
too. Yeah, I was going on vacation with my ex, and we were going to Vegas, and I said some sly shit. I was like, man, I'm Mexican and Polish, man. We don't really blow shit up,
Oh,
They didn't like that too
Is that
much.
what you said?
They didn't like it too much. And like, well, you need to stay right here.
know that Leo's going out and serving booze, man.
But yeah, it's like, man, you get profiled by some people that are just assholes, man.
Is that what you said?
I did say that.
Oh, my gosh.
Honest to God, I've said it.
That's some gangster shit right there.
That's tough,
That's
man.
some gangster
I
shit.
can relate to what you're talking about because in high school, you got jocks, geeks, and farmers
Yeah.
and burnouts,
Oh, yeah.
and it wasn't cool to be Italian back then. And actually, one of your listeners didn't treat me so well in high school.
Schwartz.
I wouldn't even say his name, but since he's changed.
Oh, yeah. Spinn's a good guy.
We'll talk to him, and I have no problem with him, but it was just that mentality of the early 80s.
Yeah.
And, hey, man, people do stuff, and we're brought up a certain way, but it's how you, in our house, that wasn't spoken of.
Yeah.
There was no racial undertones. N-word was not thrown out there at all. Nothing of that nature. It was always, my dad's famous line was, you treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And that's when I always think my employees, when I work for 7-Up, that's my mantra. That's what I always live by, is just treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And the world's a better place.
No, and I got a story. So we used to, back when I was doing hip hop, you know, Bobsha, God rest her soul, but she's old school, man.
Yeah, she used to be on the rap scene.
No, that's not what I'm saying. She was a little prejudiced, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man.
Wow. I got back from a clubbing night with a black friend, and she's like, "What's this so and so doing here?" And he looked at me and he started laughing his ass off, like it was funny. But I was like, I felt so bad, you know what I mean? Because since then, even before that, for me, I don't see color. There's good and bad everything, and I truly believe that in my heart of hearts.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So we kind of laughed it off, but I'm like, damn, this shit is real. You know what I mean? And I've just had good friends of all ilks and whatever, man. So I just don't see it.
I don't either.
You know, and I never will.
I don't either.
And this table, you think about just what we spoke of here just on this podcast about diversity. You know, you guys were in a rap scene. What was known to be more of, you know, a black guys type thing back in the day, right?
Oh, yeah.
You guys were hanging with them and popping and locking and doing everything. We got an Italian guy here, a couple Italian guys. We got a European Polak here. We got the split here between the Mexicano and Polak. And to cover more diversity, he's performed in a Chinese restaurant. So, I mean, we're covering
And
a
he
lot of
doesn't blow
ground
up
here. We
shit.
got Asians, Latino, you know, black and white. And we might have been Brett Favre in here, you know.
15 minutes. 15 minutes. You go on.
Anyways.
Coming to the stage.
I call him me, puppy.
Love it.
So
Me love you a long time.
number 3, I got my brothers. I'm really tight with my brothers, and I'm very thankful for my individual relationships with them. Nick, Jeff, and Andrew, just got to shout them out, man. Been through a lot of stuff. You know, I didn't set the best example when I was younger, and they kind of went through their shit. But through it all, you know, I think Andrew's come out the most unscathed through all that, and I'm very, very proud of him. But also, you know, Nick and Jeff have become, you know, solid grown men too, and I'm very, very proud of them for that, and I don't get to tell them that enough. But, you know, when shit hits the fan, if I really, really need something, they always got my back, and that's something, you know, half the people out there just won't do for you. So, you know, those brohams, man, hermanos, I love them. I love them to death.
I never had a bravo, but I do right here. And I do. I mean, I really do feel like, you know, these are my brotherhoods, you know?
Yeah.
And especially a guy like you. I mean, I'm kind of like, you know, that's important, man.
I agree 100%.
It's a special thing.
We're getting closer. There's been a disconnect for a few years with my half brother, but I'm making up ground with him, man. I'm sending him memes, and he's listening to
He's
this
on
show.
Facebook now.
He is. He goes, hey, shout out to Spud fucking Johnson from Los Angeles, California. Hey,
Uncle
Tommy,
Tom,
how
we
you
love you.
doing?
How you doing?
My half brother, he's one of these guys. He's way up in the UP, and he doesn't want to be around people. You know, he's just fucking crazy like that. And so we've been on Facebook, and he discovered Facebook after all these years. And so he's messaging me. He's like, brother, I listened to your podcast. What's with the hairy arm joke? And he didn't have to listen to episode 80 to understand what we were talking about. But the fact that he spent that much time listening to that crazy ass podcast, and he gathered that little spot and sent it off to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's listening to the show.
And that's what's cool, because
shit.
everybody's got different relationships, you know. And I even got a brother and sister in Indiana that I don't get to speak to all the time, but I reached out to my sister in Indiana the other day, and we talked, messaged back and forth. So those connections, I think they're important, you know, whether few and far between, you know, there's always a story there. And I got different relationships with each of them, which is super cool to me, and I hold special to my heart.
Yeah.
And shout out to Uncle Tom. Thank you for a listener.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for
Laughter,
listening.
family, music, it's all good
It
medicine,
is,
man.
yeah.
The music you talk about influences
And
you.
it
The
all-
shittiest day and listen to a good song change everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dig it? I mean, that's where it's at.
I
man.
remember
Or
me and
if
my
you're
brother-
thinking about somebody, and then that song pops up, it's like, wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Did you have a love ballad you used to listen to back in the day, Cheech? That was your girlfriend like song? Like, man, was it Tender Love?
What was it? No, that was one
Yeah,
of them.
you like
I
that.
feel so unsure.
I won't even play that stupid ass shit.
Yeah.
Careless whisper.
Force MDs, man.
This is Alan Pillow Talk.
This next song is for backward skaters only.
Backwards. You guys used to roller rink it?
That's
Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Macomb Skating Center, man. I had my own skates.
Yeah.
Here's a quick little funny story.
See how this just went off the rails real quick, Billy? But this is what we do.
So I pick up this pair of skates and they fit. The kid says, just take them. Well, the wheels were shit. The wheels, they're for shit. They're no good.
They're no good for
The
nothing.
wheels no good. So we go out to Troy and I buy some new wheels. No idea what I'm buying, right? I buy precision wheels. These axles have grooves.
Right.
So I get them home and my dad says, what the fuck is this? Because he pounded them motherfuckers on. He got them on there and I had some cool ass skates.
There you go.
Hell yeah. You were tearing it up, were you?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Macomb Skating Center.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
All right.
Am I up?
You're up.
You're up, my man.
This is number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Helen Keller. Not Lance Keller. The tattoo guy. Helen. I'm good friends with Lance Keller by the time. By the way, he would love to do this. Helen Keller. So, this lady.
Who are you?
I can't hear you. Or see you. I see you, man. I see you. At the age of 19 months, she lost her sight and her hearing to something that happened. I don't really know. I don't know why, but
her vagine hang like sleeve of wizard.
she proceeds to live her life. She graduated from college. She had her IQ was like 150. She almost eloped at one point. I'm thinking, what's the purpose of this? But she would communicate. They would touch her hand in different ways, and she knew what was going. She was very political. How does that? How do you create a world where you can't see or hear? And yet have this huge impact.
That's pretty dope, though.
It is. I mean, it's like you talk about not giving up.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
There's always someone that has it worse, right?
Yeah.
As bad as it gets for us, as dark as it gets, man.
Yeah.
There's always someone that's got
it's always
harder
dark
story.
for her.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Literally.
I was trying to keep it in, bro.
Yo, number 4, I got motherfucking Bo Rat, man.
yeah.
Man, she was in the room, man. Next thing you know, the dirt reach around in the dark. These nuts.
Can I see your license? Oh
Yes.
talk, huh?
All right.
I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, that's good.
Number 4. So we shared number 4. So I have a bonus one. So I'm gonna bump this one up. Henry Ford. So you talk about somebody that made a difference. There was a special on I forget which channel, TNT or whatever it was, but they talked about Henry Ford. So in the early days of the automobile, there was a consortium where they controlled the whole thing. They had the patent on the automobile, and that's it. There was only a couple people that made it. Don't even try it. And Henry Ford kept getting shut out. And he says, listen, I'm going to make this car, and if I beat this one fellow who was the fastest guy in the world in a Porsche or some ridiculous Mercedes-Benz maybe. If I beat you in a race 1-on-1 down in Grosse Pointe Farms at his house, will you let me build the car? And they agreed, sure, why not? And he beat his ass.
Wow.
And he went on to be, the most influential automobile builder. Personally, I think he built shitty cars, but that's just me.
Imagine the pressure of that race.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that he did was from that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you think about, that he's the father of the modern, the way we build the line, not construction line, what do they call the
assembly line?
Assembly line. Thank you. So he's the father of that, and he was very
Struggling.
hard-headed. That guy. You see the special on him. He was all about working people 7 days a week, working them to the bone, getting everything they could out of them. He had a horrible henchman for a partner, and that's why the unions come into play. And there was a horrific deal where there was gunfire involved, and the whole thing. There was a tragedies. People died in the steel plants, and but that fellow right there, he kind of revolutionized the entire automobile business. He was very influential.
What the fuck is going on here?
He made the difference. He was the guy that.
So
really
that's
got
why
it
the
going.
Lions haven't won since '57.
He spent so much time, and he was so hard-headed about the Model T. I don't know if you know the whole history of that. So he wanted to hang on to this Model T. Probably till this day, we'd be driving Model Ts if it was up to Henry Ford. And so,
Do me a favor, take a shit, bro. Take it down a notch.
so they brought the Model A in, and then his son later in life, Edsel, wanted to keep going. They built the Edsel, which in my opinion is one of the most awesome cars in the world, but it was a flub.
Yeah.
And his son, it sucked. He died at a young age. But that's my answer. Henry Ford.
Very good. Very good. And that legacy lives on, man.
Yeah.
That's powerful shit.
The thing that you said they actually raced, we actually had some actual audio of the beginning of it, and it went like this.
Let's get it, dude.
And then after he won,
Got him.
beautiful thing, Brads. Had to get those in.
That's in historical documents.
That's
The boy's mine. The
it
boy's
is
mine.
pickled, but I'll listen back to that and go, wow, I learned something from KAOS. But you switched that on me because I know you're going to pick somebody else for this, right?
I said that one.
Can I get the
No, no.
model? Can I get the Model T with curb feelers?
Oh, should I or shouldn't I?
You can. We'll share it.
All right, we'll
Man,
share it.
We're looking at his paper,
Well,
man.
we
know,
did
what's going
talk,
on?
but we discussed amongst ourselves. But I
discuss.
actually I had the bonus on there, but we're going to just bring this out because I know some people are going to say, "Oh, what an idiot!" But Donald Trump,
What an idiot.
I'm sorry, first one at the table. I
got a piss.
Oh boy,
Me too.
And I'm not saying it's all good and it's all bad, but I want to say that there's been a lot of political shit been exposed since his. And I mean, there's a lot of things have come out.
Absolutely.
And there's been a lot of things that have happened exactly the way he called it. And I think he exposed a lot of what's going on in crooked politics.
Yep.
We
The
pay a lot of taxpayer money. And we're seeing it, man. There's so much politicization, if that's how I can pronounce it right. There's a lot of politics that goes around big pharma, all this stuff. We know this now because it's exposed, and you're seeing that these companies are starting to have to adjust because they have gotten exposed.
Yeah.
And it's a different world.
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
making them all uncomfortable. Is what he's doing.
Yeah, I guess
you
maybe
learn how-
that's.
you
And
learn
they
how
got
crooked
this,
it is.
and they got this big facade going on. This whole they always try to divert you to this sideshow to hide what they're actually doing.
Right. And I'm not saying I agree with everything because that would be a
Yeah.
false statement. But I'm thinking as far as a president that somebody actually took over the power of the most powerful country in the world. And whether you liked him or you hated him, there was things that were getting done at such a fast pace.
Yeah.
And it was done not because of what was left behind. It was done when he came and started moving the needle. And I don't believe that we are in a better spot today than we were a couple years ago. I
No.
get it, the pandemic. I get it that there's, all that stuff could factor into the economy. But there's a lot of things that are happening right now to me that a game changer, a president, or someone with the mindset that runs a country more like a business, because then ultimately that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're business to trade to other countries. How we keep people away from war and all this other stuff. KAOS, I mean, we're sharing it. I'd like for you to pick up a little bit of it.
We talked about this last week too, where Trump, when he was in the first year, he made such a change, and God bless the guy challenging the UN and the other group where we use so much of our GDP, our money, to go towards defense. And when somebody else is in peril, how much are you going to contribute? And I think is it the UN, or what am I trying to think of? The one that is kind of like the national or bi-national group of not soldiers, but the military thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, I forgot about it.
Stay on track. I'll look it up.
So so he challenged all these countries. Hey, we're giving 2% of our GDP to go towards this effort. You're giving 0.2. belly up or we're pulling the plug. So he challenged all these countries, and they ponied up. They put in the money. So it's just stuff like that. And he didn't give a rip if France didn't like him or this person didn't like him or somebody else didn't like him.
No, and that's the one thing I can always respect about him. And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I really had to piss.
No,
but,
not at all.
You know, he's a polarizing figure. You want to talk about a game changer in society, period. He is. He's a disruptor, right?
Yeah.
And business savvy. And again, like he said about running the country like a businessman, he got a lot of shit good done. You cannot deny that. Just from the facts don't lie. Again, like we talked about on the last show, was it's the extra stuff that people, you know, aren't happy with. But again,
I can go with the less of the bashing and the things that kind of look juvenile to
childish
me. They look a little, to me as an adult, I look at this and go, that's not where you want to start. You
It
know,
is UN, by the way. United
it's
Nations.
like it's one of those things. Like if you're in a crisis, you go to someone that just wants to fuck around. That's not really, you know what I mean? That's not someone you want to go to at that time. So when you look at the president of the United States, you want somebody you can go to that's going to stand firm, be solid, not back down, not bullshit you, just be, you know what I mean? Cut to the chase, man.
Yeah, look at North Korea. Rocket Man. He challenged him directly. He walked across that threshold. He shook his hand, and you could see the tenor. Quit messing with us.
Right.
We're done.
Yeah.
What else? Iran. Soleimani. What's the other cat? They just smoked him right in the street. They launched a bomb and gone.
It's wild, man.
Nobody else is doing that right now.
You know,
talk about sending a message.
Yeah.
So for that pick,
I told you about the shirt the guy said, F around and find out.
Yep. And for that pick, that's not me standing on some political soapbox. It's just to say that we were talking, you know, the subject line today was people have made a difference or inspired or have done something in our world that we live in. We have never seen anything like it. And I don't believe the story's over yet. You know, there's a lot of things going on right now. We're going into an election year without making this Fox News over here, but it's going to happen. We're going to
think about this too.
President.
The guy didn't need to do that. He was larger than life.
Yeah,
this guy had
he was a
bajillion dollars.
Yeah,
Mar-a-Lago, all these different golf courses and casinos and buildings. He didn't have to do this. He did it because he felt we were in trouble and we need to make a change.
Yeah.
And dude, like every billionaire, like Elon Musk or you know, the guy that runs Amazon,
Bezos.
People are going to listen to this. Go, well, you're giving this guy credit for being a billionaire because he was hiding his money and his records showed all this was screwed up and all that. The reality is, every billionaire's probably got some kind of a paper trail that's going to lead to something that's going to look a little off. You know, because there's so much money moving. So with Trump and all this other stuff that's been going on. I would judge on what his presidency was. To me, if you want to look at just the facts of what really happened, I get this whole, you know, attack at the thing and all that stuff at the Capitol was horrible.
Yeah.
And the childish antics. But if you put alike business people in office and you run a country, we were better off in those 4 years than we ever have been, as a country. So now that's what I judge it on. If he can repeat it or get people like him to do the same things in ethical standards, I think we'll be moving forward instead of keep receding backwards. Because right now, there's a lot of volatility. You know, we talked about this, you know, these balloons and, you know, submarines and all this other stuff that's going on off the coast of Alaska and things like that.
Right.
You know, as a red, white, and blue kind of guy and a citizen that just loves his country, I wouldn't want to see anything bad happen here.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I want that, you know, patriotism and stuff back.
I agree.
So that was my pick.
Yep. Agreed.
Very, very solid. For me, again, I went very, very family oriented on this, so people can say what they want, but I got to go with my parents. You know what I mean? Always have my back, and that's my mom, my stepdad, Andy. Just rocks in my life. You know what I'm saying? They supported me in all my endeavors, whether it be to pursue coaching. They love that because I want to give back to the game of football. You know, because had I not had football in my life, I was on a very, very dark path. Football kind of brought me back in. The discipline I learned. Shout out to Garth Frost, who was my JV football coach. I wanted to throw his name out there because he had a significant impact on my life. He's somebody that didn't give up on me and kind of like, there was that tutelage there, you know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget that. I did reach out after high school when I needed somebody. You know, he didn't reach out, but it's okay. At that time when I needed him, he was there. So I'm thankful for that. But, you know, whether it be podcasting or whatever I decided to do, my parents have always been there. And Andy came in later in life, right? And a guy that took on, you know, 3 other kids, not his own, that takes, you know, some fortitude, man. It takes some balls, you know what I'm saying? It's not an easy thing to do. It's something that I never wanted to do, but like he opened my mind to that. So if I met a woman, and shout out to a good woman too, because I think every king needs a queen. You guys could attest to that, right? You know, you understand what that's like. And I've been in long relationships where, you know, it hasn't always been bad, right? It's been good. And when you guys are rolling on all cylinders, having a good woman behind you is there too. So this is all kind of lumped into my number 2. But that baseline, like you talked about parents, your dads, my mom was that for me. And then later in life, you know, Andy taught me a lot about finance and, you know, how to structure things and stuff like that. I think that's so important, which it was not taught in high school for me. So I struggled with that getting out of there. And, you know, being a young adult with issues, you know, anger issues and running in the streets, fucking around, fucking up, you know. But all that stuff with coaching brought me back center. And that's why I'm where I'm at today. So forever grateful for that. I had to shout them out tonight.
Yep. Nice.
Very good.
Got to go where it hits home, man. You know, I know it's
Solid.
different. And again, perspectives, right? And I love what you guys are saying because I was going to go there, but I was like, you know what? I got to stay close to home. That just matters. It's the most difference making to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little better than El Chapo.
Hey, he was a family man.
He was a family
He
man.
was a family man.
I tried to pick you up, Cheech.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's face was like,
Can't wait to watch that one.
I'm going to go with my parents too on this last one. And like I said, they're in no particular order, but my mom was a stay-at-home wife, mother. She never drove. She lived to be 91 years old, and she never drove. That's insane. Was never on a plane. Furthest she ever went was St. Louis, Missouri. She did go east. She went to Boston, and she always had dinner ready. She always cleaned. She did this. She did that. We had to drive her everywhere, but we were good with that. And my dad, he worked. He was a pipe fitter for Chrysler. He, you know, this is what he told me when I got my job. He said, the first thing you buy? I said, what's that? He goes, an alarm clock. Get your ass up. Don't be late for work. He goes, if you're there on time, they tell you to work 8 hours, work 8 hours. They want you to work overtime, work overtime. He goes, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And I was like, okay.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
Then on the weekends, he'd have all these little side gigs. Come on, we're going to hook up a dryer at so-and-so's house. And I grabbed the bag. Okay, put some dope on there. And that's how I learned how to fix shit with him.
Nice.
Do this, do that. We're going to go fix this faucet. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
And you're still a fixer-upper kind of guy. Because you do your counters and all that recently?
Yeah. I'm doing my master bath right now. You know, I don't know nothing shit about plumbing. I know enough to do it. You know, now with YouTube, you can do it all.
Yeah,
but you save it.
that.
Yeah, it's true.
You save a ton of money. You save a ton of money. Just takes me longer, but I live by myself, so it's okay. I got 2 full baths. I'm good.
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah,
But,
good for you, man.
He was always fixing something. He's underneath the hood of a car, doing this, doing that, and him and his brothers, man. But them guys, they did not miss work. That's what lacks today. They don't have work ethic.
No.
Don't you feel like that's like the key to success, though, is that consistency? Like, hey, you got to clock in. You got to continue to build on something. Otherwise, like, if you leave all these gaps in between, like, your life's going to be like peaks and vallies, right? But if you stay consistent and keep earning that check, man, that's how you get places.
That's how you get places, you know. And, you know, you got to like what you do.
Sure.
I don't, this job pays all this money, but I hate it. You can't have a job where you hate it. My dad loved his job. He was good at it, and he got up and he drove Chrysler vehicles. He hated it, but you know what? Don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's what he always said.
Yeah. It's good philosophy.
Good advice too.
You know, and they were good. You know, they fought, but they stayed together and this and that. And she'd make the sauce. None of us could eat the sausage, the mild sausage in there.
The sauce, the
that was all.
gabagool.
That was all for him.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, you know them sausage? Those are your father's.
Really?
All 5 of them? Well, he takes them to work.
Oh.
Thinking, all right, okay. He's the one keeping all this shit above ground. So,
She thought she
respect, dog.
took care of the boss.
yeah.
That's it.
And he was a music
good.
guy. He played drums. He was in a band called the Volcanoes.
Oh, no kidding.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was in like 3rd grade, and they did this fundraiser somewhere. So I'm out there dancing on the dance floor and stuff like that.
So
the bass
that's
player-
where it started.
So the bass player, in between, they took a little break. He said, "Hey, why don't you get your kid up on stage? You know, he looks like he'll have fun. You know, let him play the tambourine." So I went up there and like for 2 songs, I was just jamming. I had my curly hair was out there. But after the 2nd song, the fucking guitar player, he goes, "This kid's driving me fucking crazy." he doesn't stop, you know. So they made, you know, they're like, "Yeah, let's give it up for little Sammy." And I'm thinking, what? this is short set.
He's going to be on Star Search.
Come on, one more.
Give it up to little Sammy.
Let's do some James Brown.
Hercules.
But yeah, I owed all of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff.
Awesome, man.
So what are we on, number 5 for me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we bumped up here. My bonus was taken. So Elon Musk, I know he hasn't been. So he is.
Brian was going to take that one. Shit.
Damn you.
Elon Musk.
So
Got Musk.
Elon Musk.
Took my Musk.
Did you say Jovan Musk?
Skip.
This guy, I think
You smell a little musk in me.
I think he's like one of these yet to be determined. But
Yeah.
what a weird cat. So this guy comes out. He smokes pot every day.
He does?
And yeah. So he single-handedly revolutionized the automotive business going to EV and perfected it in the past 10 years. Got us back into space with SpaceX. And he's a major player with AI, the artificial intelligence. And this is a guy that's just a one-off weird cat that
Yeah.
pothead and just...
Yeah.
But he's getting it done right. He's totally revolutionized the way that we go to building. Just every aspect of how we do stuff has been retooled, redone, and done his way. And I think that when the last chapter is written in his book, he'll probably go down as one of the best.
Yeah.
For somebody
Yeah.
that made a difference.
That'll be fucking backing up Willie Nelson's band because he like that dope, man.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine, do you think because he smokes so much bud, he gets more clarity?
You think it sounds like this?
Like, hey, you want to get high, man? do you think maybe that something has, because people get very thoughtful in their own minds and they start getting that little head buzz going, and do you think that helps them? Like, I'm going to bend a fucking rocket.
It didn't work so well for Cheech and Chong, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, but I mean, just think, you just
They're
said
alive still.
Yeah, and they're still making money. But think about that. You mentioned rockets, cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's done some crazy shit, and like I didn't know he was a big pothead and all
Very
that.
intelligent
No idea.
individual too.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff.
Would you read that in High Times magazine, man?
No, man, Joe Rogan, man.
That guy don't know any tunes, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I had a bonus pick. Did anybody say Thomas Edison?
No.
All right, so Thomas Edison, that guy invented the light bulb. So having said that, that's why we have these beautiful lights over here and a nice chandelier.
Thank God, right?
I mean, you know,
Thank
think
Thomas
about
Edison.
it. We've all lost power, right? Come
Yes.
on, man. What does it suck when you take it for granted like we do, right? You lose your power.
It's a game changer.
It just changes everything, right? I mean, that guy revolutionized what we're in right now.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Very well said. Well, that's going to be tough to follow.
Oh yeah, sure.
My last one is becoming a father. You know, and I talk about this a lot, but that was the single most, no matter what, influencer person in my life. To me, that was the biggest game changer in my life, period. Bar none, until the day I die, that's going to be it. Because, again, on that rough and rocky road, it kind of made me dive deep into music, go harder at work, strive for more. Made me, you know, want to do better at podcasting. Even like a small pipe dream, you know, he's my motivation every day. And again, you know, everybody's story is different, but for me, that completely flipped the script for me. It's like that. You want to talk about light bulbs? That motherfucker went off like that.
See how that tied in?
It did. Nice segue, by the way. But you know, it translates well. And for me, nothing else compares to it. And I'll die on that sword any day of the week, man. So becoming a father was the biggest difference in my life.
Yeah,
it's real, dude.
I agree.
Some very powerful stuff here tonight. I'm very impressed. I mean, I came ill prepared.
No, again, that's what's great about this podcast is because when we have guests on, and it's all about perspective. We've been off the wall how many times?
Oh my gosh, can't even.
I mean,
count.
both ends of the spectrum.
Next time, put that over here. I'm not going to copy off you.
You know? Hey man, I don't quite understand your question. What is the fives about this week?
Put a bunch of stupid shit and watch him steal it all.
Right.
Steve Garvey. I really like Steve Garvey.
Captain and Tennille. Very
Dave
good.
Chappelle. I got all the wrong fives here.
We're gonna bust balls, but there's no wrong answer. That's
Right.
what's special.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?